Brandon Jennings reached the absolute peak of his career in only a 7th game in the NBA. In a rookie head-to-head matchup against Steph Curry, Jennings completely went off, scoring 55 points and getting the spotlight from the entire league. Sadly, however, he was never able to even get to 40 points again in his playing days. So when talking about guys who peaked as rookies and then fell off, Brandon's name immediately comes to mind. So let's check out some other rookie sensations that fell off afterwards and never progressed. What up everybody, my name is Stefan and this is Heat Check. Let's get into it. Before we move on to other players, I feel like I need to say this about Jennings. Although he may not lived up to his potential and the high expectations that were set early on, Brandon did have a natural progression up to his 3rd year where he went from 15.5 points per game to 19 on better percentage. So not the typical fall off a cliff. A guy who did go straight down, however, was from the same draft class and actually the Rookie of the Year that season, and that is Tyreke Evans. Evans grabbed the attention of NBA fans with his flashiness on the court, the great ball handling and crossovers that left defenders behind him or even on the floor were often featured on the NBA top 10 lists. He even had a game winner as well against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Tyreke Evans puts the Sacramento Kings on top.
All of this while scoring 20 points along with 5 rebounds and almost 6 assists were more than enough for him to win the Rookie of the Year award, and Kings fans had a legitimate reason to be excited. They found their franchise star and he was off to a great start. But in his sophomore season, instead of a rise in production, there was a drop-off. He wasn't able to get into a nice rhythm, which in part was due to injuries. Evans played only 57 games and wasn't able to get to 18 points per game. However, that season wasn't all bad since it gave us one of the wildest game winners in NBA history.
Tyreke at the
Taking a look at his games played, you see that injuries were a big part of his career, and Tyreke never came even close to playing a full season. And you can clearly see how his production continuously goes down for the first 4 seasons. By then, we all knew that he wasn't going to become the player we thought, so Sacramento traded him to New Orleans where he further cemented his role as a supporting cast. There is this weird bump in 2018 where Mike Conley got injured for the entire season in Memphis, so they gave all the freedom Tyreke could ask for. But that didn't result in anything besides some empty stats, as the Grizzlies ended the season with a miserable record of 22-60. After that season, he was initially disqualified from the NBA for substance abuse, but this season the league announced that he was reinstated back. Michael Carter-Williams kicked off the infamous process for the Sixers. They drafted him with the 11th pick and he caught everyone by surprise right in his NBA debut. 22 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, and 9 steals, the most steals ever by a rookie on a debut. All of that in a win over the defending champion Miami. And all of that in the first game in his career. Less than a week later, he had a 26-point, 10-assist performance and Sixers fans were thrilled. In his rookie year, Carter-Williams recorded 2 triple-doubles as well, and with that phenomenal performance throughout the entire season, he won Rookie of the Year. 16.5 points, 6 rebounds, 6.5 assists, and almost 2 steals per game. But this is where things go downhill for him as well. At the end of that first year, MCW suffered a shoulder injury and had surgery. When he came back in 2014-2015, he didn't quite look the same, and combined with the fact that the Sixers were in a full-on tanking mode and trying to get a top pick, he was traded to Milwaukee. But another injury caused him to miss more playing time and he started to lose his spot as a starter due to his poor performance, which admittedly was a result of injuries. He is also another player that never came close to playing a full season, so along those lines, you can also see how his points per game go down year by year. He bounced around the league from the Bucks to the Bulls, Hornets, Rockets, and last time we saw him in a Magic uniform last season. After yet another injury, he was waived by Orlando and we haven't seen him on a team this year as he's rehabbing from surgery. Jahlil Okafor had possibly the worst drop for an NBA rookie ever. Even though he had solid games to kick off his rookie campaign, the Sixers were so bad as a team that they went 0-28 to start the season. 0-28. This is the longest losing streak by any team in professional sports. In the middle of that streak, Okafor got in a fight with some heckling fans in a nightclub. A video of that incident leaked and he was suspended for a few games by Philadelphia. Still, despite the off-court drama, he was great every time he had the ball in his hands. Okafor put up 17.5 points and 7 rebounds per game for the season and was voted in the first team All-Rookie. But this is yet another player that ended the season on the sidelines due to a knee injury. The next year, he played sporadically and aggravated his injury, so he was shut down at the end of that one as well. By the time he entered his third season, Joel Embiid was finally back from his injury and was getting in full swing, establishing himself as the superstar of this franchise. So there was almost no playing time for Jahlil, and after appearing in only 2 games from the start of that 16-17 season, Okafor was traded to the Brooklyn Nets. From that point on, he would never be able to get to the level of play from his rookie season and bounced around from Brooklyn to New Orleans to Detroit, never scoring more than 8 points per game. So at the moment, he is playing in China. With the number 3 pick of the 2008 draft, the Memphis Grizzlies picked OJ Mayo, and he had an immediate impact, dropping 18.5 points per game. He was one of the players who could get hot in a second and had 7 games with more than 30 points in his rookie season. He finished number 2 behind Derrick Rose in Rookie of the Year race. But this is one player who cannot blame injuries for his downfall. Mayo did it to himself. His temper and attitude were always a problem. OJ was fined for repeatedly being late to practice, then he got in a fight with Tony Allen and never really progressed to something more than a streaky shooter and an athletic player. So in 4 years with the Grizzlies, he declined steadily from 18.5 to 12.5 points per game. On top of that, Mayo got suspended for 11 games for violating NBA substance abuse protocol and was later traded to Milwaukee, where he continued to spiral downwards. In 3 years there, he started with 11.5 points and by the end was at just under 8 per game. How it ended though was with a disqualification from the NBA for getting caught doing drugs again. He is currently playing in Russia. And finally, Emeka Okafor, a player who was possibly a victim of the high expectations. Drafted by the Bobcats back then with the number 2 pick, Okafor was amazing in his rookie year, at one stretch getting 19 consecutive double-doubles in a row. That, along with his season averages of 15 points and 11 rebounds, got him the Rookie of the Year award. But in the next 4 years, despite still being a solid player with great double-double production, his point average didn't go up but dipped slightly down. At the same time, a player from the same draft class, Dwight Howard, ascended to a superstar, putting up monster numbers year after year and ultimately taking the Orlando Magic to the NBA Finals, while Okafor's Bobcats were struggling to even make the playoffs. So the comparisons were unavoidable, and it was evident how the trajectories of the two players were completely opposite. He continued to regress season after season, as you can see. Emeka then missed 4 full seasons due to a herniated disc, but kept working and kept himself in great shape throughout that whole time, so he made a brief comeback in 2018, playing 26 games for the Pelicans. So whether it was because of injuries or bad attitude, the NBA has a group of players that sadly never reached their ceiling and failed to reproduce the same spark from the beginning of their careers. Let me know in the comments if I forgot someone. That's it for now. Subscribe and talk to you in the next one. Peace out. I did not fall off. Still here, baby. Peace.